You are listening to the Park Flyer Podcast, where we discuss our RC adventures.
Welcome to the Park Flyer Podcast, where we discuss the ups and downs of the new RC Flyer. Join your hosts, Michael and Jay, as they take flight at the park. Now on with the show.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Park Flyer Podcast. I'm Michael from Arizona, and with me always, my good friend
Shannon G in Mesa AZ.
And we would like to once again welcome you to the podcast. And if you haven't already, like, subscribe, and
Comment.
Yeah, we'd love to hear your comments. Welcome to this week's episode. Shannon got a new toy. He's going to kind of take us through some of the stuff, and then we got some events, I think, throughout the summer that we were talking about. So, what did, so I can't say Santa Claus, but what did the Easter Bunny bring you?
The Easter Bunny, exactly. That's right. Yeah, a couple days late. He came late.
Yeah,
I think he got stuck under the seat or something, and he just came back later.
So. Yeah.
No, it's the I love the ISDT chargers. I've had really good luck with them, and among others, but those are the ones I kind of have the most of. And I've got good chargers with them, but I want something a little smaller but powerful to go along with my solar battery charger pack power setup. So I found the K2 Zip, and it's fairly new.
Right.
The K2's been around, but the Zip has this cool little fold up screen, so you can fold it flat or kind of angle it, whatever. And it's a 2-channel, 1S to 8S on both sides, a couple $100-watt charger. And, for the price is like, around $100 or so, a little bit over than that. But I just thought it was really cool. Plus it has the Bat Air. And I think we've talked about those before. You got those little battery adapters you put on your balance port. It'll store your data as to, how many cycles and, how you want it charged, and just plug in and it just picks it up. You don't have to hit the buttons and scroll through everything. So it's got all that. It's real simple. A little AC/DC. Probably use it AC most of the time with that.
Sure.
And then I got some matching from Amazon. They're not really they're a balance board, but they also have the actual plugs for XT90, EC5, all built into the same thing, and they just plug right in. And you got everything right there. It's so simple. Not got multiple plugs, and not super long, just about the right length. So just kind of streamlined it for my little, kind of getaway charging system, because you don't always have power at the field. And
this is true. I actually have to bring my generator on occasion because you don't always have power at the field. So but it's not too bad. Well, show me the picture.
Yeah, sure. It fits in the palm of your hand.
There you go.
And I think it's cool with the little.
Oh yeah, the little
folds up, and you can
up.
see. I didn't. Yeah, and I literally just picked it up, from the Easter Bunny.
Huh.
So
that's very cool.
I'm really excited to try that out this weekend. See if it's.
And you have a couple of the different ISTs. I have one that's a small one. I think it's a 8-cell or whatever for a single, but.
Yeah, I've got the K4, which is like the kind of that's not even their biggest one, but it's the kind of the biggest hobby general one. It's has the Bat Air, but it's really powerful for, especially if you run it DC up to like 36 volt or something. It'll take put out umpteen amps to charge. And then I've got a P20. And that's kind of like it's just a DC only, and it's it's two port. It's really it does the job. And there's a cool feature on the ISCTs. I don't know if they have it on the Spectrum ones, but there's a destroy function.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I was thinking of like destroy.
Right. Your battery blows up.
Yeah. Well, no. Let's say if you had a battery and it's got 3 or 4 cells, and one or two of them are just like they're just sagging. That thing's done for. And rather than sit there and try to discharge it, you can plug some light bulbs into it. That works too.
Yeah.
But even that can be a little. This actually kind of controls it, but it sucks it down to like as close to 0 as possible, and then they're pretty much inert, after like if it's less than a volt, nothing's going to happen.
Nothing's going to happen to it.
So that's just a cool feature that I like. It has a little skull and crossbones when you
when you touch it, it's like, don't
Yeah.
do this unless
and
you
it
want your
double
bag.
checks. Are you sure? Continue.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
destroy.
I should borrow it. I have a couple that I probably need to get rid
Oh,
of.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're too puffy to put in my planes now, so got to get rid of those.
Yeah, I have this one battery that I've been using as mainly for my little soldering iron. It's a 3-cell. I've had this battery forever. It's probably 20 years old.
Dang.
It was a New Energy. I don't know if you remember New Motors, New
Yeah,
Energy.
yeah.
They were a big deal. I know they're still around, but they were a big deal when we were kind of getting our feet wet with electric and high quality electric, and they were pricey. And
they were pricey.
I held onto this thing. I had 2 of them. I had a matching pair, and one did go south, and I think I went south in an airplane. And this one I just kept using it, and finally I was like, yeah, I got one cell. It just drops like a rock after 30 seconds. So bye-bye.
Huh. Yeah, I got to get rid of it. So don't want to burn your house down.
Ooh.
Well, Scott reached out to me the other day too, that we've got some events that are coming up, and he wanted me to come up to Arvada for the jet event. They've got Jets Over the Rockies for 2025. That happens May 29th through May 31st.
Nice.
I tried to schedule it off, but unfortunately it didn't work out that way. And they scheduled 2 trips right over the top of this event. So moving my trips around is a little bit more difficult for me to do during the summer, but yeah, it's going to be at the AAM East Field. It's all day Thursday through Saturday. From what I hear, it's a great event. Everybody that I've talked to has been, this is a great place to go. It is in Colorado, so, it's a little bit higher than what we're used to flying. So, don't take a little motor.
Yeah, the electrics don't like it as much up there.
Yeah, I've actually taken my little blue L39. I flew it in the neighborhood. I took off on the street and flew it over the houses, and it did pretty well. But I think the neighbors were really super cool about it, and then they thought about it and said, "Yeah, you better stop doing that because I don't want to crash it into my house."
Yeah.
So I just kind of flew it around by land on the street. They thought it was kind of neat, but mostly because I just had it in my car, and they're like, "Hey, you should fly that thing," and I'm like, "I don't want to fly in the neighborhood," but I did it anyway. So Mike calls that something pirate flying. I think is he calls it pirate flying. So anyway, I did a little bit of that, but that was prior to all this stuff coming out anyway.
I think we've all done that. I used to fly my light up slow stick on New Year's Eve around the neighborhood. And no one complained really, but don't want to.
I mean, people don't mind.
Yeah.
So sorry, I gotta go to work tonight.
Wake up, Mike.
So I got up early. But anyway, it's it's up there. Let me see what the deal is. Yep, May 29th through the May 31st, 2025, from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. daily. It's open to the public for all weekend. It's at the Arvada Associated Modelers Air Park, and there's directions on arvadamodelers.com, so you can go there and check it out. They've got a list of all their stuff, but that's Jets Over Rockies. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of cool jets there.
Oh, I'd love to go there.
Yeah, they've got some of the new ones, I think, coming out. I talked to Barry the other day. He's putting his Rebel Max. He just test flew his Rebel Max. He wants me to cut some graphics for him and do some stuff for it. So it looks pretty good too. It's a big airplane though, and I know that Scott just bought an F-86 Saberjet, so that's kind of cool too. So I think it'll be here sometime in the near future.
Here as in your house?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it needs to be set up. I think it's got it, and he wants me to do it. So I was like, yeah, sure. I've got an empty table, so bring it on over. And he started laughing. I said, we're going to have to get a storage unit before too long, though, if you keep bringing stuff over, especially if it's big. I haven't even unloaded the Cessna out of the trailer. It's sitting in the trailer because I just don't have room for it in here. Luckily, my trailer is, insulated, so it doesn't really get super hot in there. It stays pretty cool. So, but anyway, so that's the first jet event coming up, I think, and then you have a few that I think are coming your way.
Well, yeah. So before that one, actually, right here in the valley, we've got the E-Jet Days at the AZMA. So a couple years ago, actually, it's probably about 5 or 6 years ago, the Jet Rally, Arizona Jet Rally, the bigger one, once in November we all go to. We had changed the rules as to the size of the aircraft. There weren't even really any issues, but there were just some people that just didn't want the foamies flying with the turbines, and so we kind of made a compromise. That, okay, no bigger than this, no smaller than this, no smaller than this, and all that good stuff. But so what we did is we created an E-Jet only day. And Bob Ruff's been running this event for about 4 or 5 years now, and it's starting to gain some momentum. The first couple of years, 5 or 6 guys, and 10, and I think last year we had 20 something. I couldn't go last year; I had to go to Washington, and I think I dodged that bullet. We'll find out here in the next couple of days if I have to go up there or not to get my daughter removed. But I think she's good. But no, so we started this event, and first it was just a Friday, and the main challenge for us is we have so many events, and we have kind of a narrow window for our events in our field.
Sure.
Our winter visitors and making everything kind of fit. So we put it in, I think at the last week of April, the first week of May, it's kind of bounced around there. And so the only drawback is sometimes it's a little warmer, but it's actually looking pretty nice for next weekend. I think it's going to be below 90. So as long as that's like heat of the day. But it's a lot of fun. It's just E-Jets. You can fly any of the E-Jets you want. Can't be a pusher prop. It's got to be an EDF. But I'm dusting off my 2 little micro. I got the little UMX cool. F-16. I got the UMX MiG-15 that I haven't even flown yet. So still deciding if I'm going to actually fly it or not. And just my regular stable of EDFs, whatever I.
And what's the dates?
May 2nd and 3rd. May 2nd and 3rd.
Oh, May 2nd and 3rd.
Right down. Yeah. So by the time
this right here,
we'll be getting ready for it right as this podcast drops.
Yeah.
But
a couple days prior.
And we do. What's kind of cool is we have our usual hot dog vendor, and we actually, as part of the entry fee for pilots, you actually get 1 free lunch.
That's very nice.
So we kind of work that out. It's something we like to do for that. But we'll have the generators running, all the power, and it'll be the last event before we get our new fencing put up. So after that, we can talk about that hopefully later in the summer.
Yeah, there you go.
As the fencing, I'm going to try to go out and maybe I'll shoot some videos or putting it up, and then do like the finished product and kind of maybe
that'd be really cool
to show that. So I'll try to get that going.
Well, I would love to be there, but I'm going to be at Churchill Downs.
Yeah. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, we got invited this year to go to the Kentucky Derby out there in Louisville. So it's not really quite in Louisville. It's close. Anyway, we got invited to go out by my wife's best friend and her hubby has got box seats or something. So
that's
we're
cool.
going to go out there and watch. It's our first time.
We can do like a flying demo. Well,
I'll have to take some photos and
put a hat.
We do have hats, which is kind of a weird thing. Yeah, my wife just ordered her 2. They just came in, and I had to get some too. One of them is bright pink, which is weird, but I have a pink cat, pink pants, and kind of blue shoes, which is kind of weird. But
tradition.
She picked a bunch of stuff out. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I didn't know, but she's like showing me pictures, like you have to dress like this, and I'm like, what? That's crazy. And she's like, yep, everybody's gonna do it. I was like, okay. So it's on her bucket list, and she's able to do it. But it's not RC related. But she, I do so much RC stuff. I let her do one thing.
But you're gonna get there and be like, hot psych. You'll be the only one wearing pink. No,
the only one wearing pink. That'll be it. They'll be like, this year was normal. You saw the pictures of whatever that year was doing. No, it's gonna be a fun time. She's super excited. So
nice.
But I think it's the same weekend. I think it's the 1st through the 3rd or something like that.
Yeah.
So
they say happy wife, happy life.
Yes, that is true. That is true. So then there's another big event coming up for the West Coast in June, I think, as well.
Yeah. So the Orange County Modelers Association, they have their Warbirds and Classics. So that's kind of a common theme for a lot of the guys on the West Coast.
Yeah, sure.
And I think there's some commonality between members and people who participate. So that's why it's kind of passed around. But that's June 27th through the 29th, and it's at the Orange County Mahler's Field, up in like Santiago Canyon. It's called Bob Swenson Field. It's a really nice facility. It's kind of hidden back. The only they have the paved runway, nice facilities. They do a lot of like the reserved. You got to reserve a spot kind of thing. And Harry, our good friend Harry Middleton, he's a member. He's a member of that club. So I usually go hang with him, and of course I used to hang with him and our dearly missed Mike. But a lot of the local guys we know, like the Rhodeses and Tony Quist and John. I think John goes.
Yeah, they go out there.
Both the guys. Yeah, so it's a really good event. Their field's really you got lots of open space, but it's like there's like a mountain off to the right when you come in, like off to the east over here. So it's like you got to come in at like a little of an angle, and it throws you off a little bit. You get used to it pretty quickly. Like it's not like you're gonna hit it unless you really go way out far,
right.
But the far end west now is good. Every once in a while though, they have to stop operations if the sheriffs or the Cal Fire is operating out of there, because there's a lake just down the way from it. And they fill their buckets
tankers.
on the tanker helicopters. Yeah, so they go and they dunk them.
That's
and
cool.
they do training and stuff. So sometimes it's like, they coordinate pretty well with them. It usually happens like middle of the week or whatever, but there's times where they say, oh, we can't fly because of this, but it hasn't affected the events.
That's good news.
I'm aware of. So been there a number of times. I really like that field. It's a lot of fun. I know most of the guys that run it, and it's well attended, and it's a great they get a lot of photographers that come out for that one. I think just because it's the proximity to the LA area, so it's kind of known for that. But always a good time, and so hopefully I like to try and get out this year. I kind of planted the bug in your ear. We'll see what happens.
I'll have to kind of bit a schedule around it and see if we can go down there,
and you can do a nice little live shot and have some fun with it.
Might be able to go out there.
Flying.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to put
the only so nothing wrong with the field, but one of the times we went there, so it was me and a couple of the guys, and my friend drove, and we had a trailer, and we left the trailer there. We locked most of our stuff up in the trailer, but we took a couple things with us because we were going to charge our radios, and just left some stuff. So we went back to the hotel. We were staying in Anaheim, and we went to dinner, and I don't know what happened, but somehow, somewhere, the next morning we come out, and we get in the truck. We go to Walmart to get stuff to go to the event, and we go to the back of the truck to get something, and the back of the truck is empty.
Oh no!
Completely empty. There's no broken glass, no broken anything. Just somehow they got in, and they took everything. At the time, I had an IX-12. They took my IX-12 in the case.
Oh no!
They took all our radios. Everyone had their radios in there. One of my friends had his chargers, his toolbox, his batteries. We lost a generator. I mean, it was like we were like in shock.
Yeah,
we're like, how can this happen? How did this happen? It's like
it happens.
It happens.
Yeah.
And so we went back to the field, and we're like, guys, we got robbed last night. They're like, oh man. So if we left everything in the trailer, nothing would have happened. I mean, that place is safe. There's people
security down there.
Yeah. Well, it's just, how many events have we gone to with our everyone knows who's there, and we don't look like, so.
Yeah, sure.
But what was funny is my radio actually popped up on the local offer up, like literally that day.
No way.
And you know how, I have like I put the little switch covers all over my, my radio's blinged out. I know my radio, it pops up on there. And we had like 5 different guys try to, set up a buy, cause we reported everything, to the police and everything. And I could never get the person to commit. No, nobody could. Like, we didn't say, hey, we know this is stolen. It was like, hey, I'd like to buy that. And the person kept saying, oh, my account's been hacked. I don't know what this is. I don't know what's going on. So it was like they almost were, I don't know what they were doing, but it eventually it went away up. But it was just like, that's my radio. I actually took pictures of it and posted it and like, guys, help me out. Everyone tried.
That's
I
a
mean, like
bummer.
5 guys, like Mike,
Mhm.
Big
Yeah,
Mike.
yeah,
He was
yeah.
he was ready to go with me.
Oh, yeah,
Mike
I
was a
bet.
cop,
Yeah.
and he was
Yeah.
like, "We're gonna go take care of this guy."
It's funny. We're going to find out who this
he was,
is.
yeah, he was ready. He was rip roaring ready to go help me out with that.
Mm.
So that was a
That's
shame. But
crazy.
it had nothing to do with the event. So that I'm just clarifying, it had nothing to do with the event. We were, 20 miles away
different,
from
different location.
different
yeah,
city.
totally
Yeah,
understand.
it was just the hotels in that area. What's really scary is it's like that when you look at that the area around those hotels, it's like right by Anaheim.
Yeah.
There are strewn along the side of the road empty suitcases and empty coolers from all the like the thieves that they grab the stuff, empty it out, and just dump it.
Yep.
And just close. They just took all the valuable stuff, or at least what they thought they could, probably
That's
sell for drugs
crazy.
or whatever. But it's sad. It's so sad. We have to deal with that.
Yeah, it is kind of sad, but it happens. In my younger years, I owned a retail store, and that happened to me. One night they drove up to the front door.
Yep.
Threw a bowling ball size rock to it, and 30 seconds later, they made away with about 20 grand worth of items.
Yeah. Well, me and my dad had our hobby store. That
It's
happened to us.
crazy.
We got broken into 3 times.
Yeah.
And just like, what are you going to do?
It's, I don't know. You kind of feel like, really? I mean,
yeah. Well, even our local hobby store here, so the Superstition, in recent years, they got hit like 5 times. Like they couldn't get insurance for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, short of an armed guard,
yeah,
they did everything possible.
That's
got
crazy.
cameras and locks and
I had cameras
timers.
too. They actually saw everybody that did it, but they're like, "Yeah, what are we gonna do? We don't know these people.
Yeah.
Got to put out APB for this guy." I'm like, "Okay, well, thanks." He looks like every other guy.
Yeah.
Hat and glasses. Hey, that's you. I didn't run my own store, but yeah, it was troublesome. Actually, it was funny. I got a call. I don't know how I got on this topic. I got a call from one of the courts in Mesa. And they basically told me that the guy had agreed to the settlement. And so they wanted to know, you have this amount of money coming to you. And I was like, really? And he goes, yeah, it's been years. I mean, probably well over 10 years. And they were like, yeah, the guy finally got out of prison. He's having to work. And so he's going to pay this back. And I was like, oh, perfect. And then she goes, yeah, so I'm going to call you back. We just need all your information to make sure that we got the right individual that all this money comes back to. And I said, yeah, that's me. And had to prove it, give her all the data and stuff. And she's like, okay, I'll call you back and we'll let you know. And then like a week later, she called me back. She goes, yep, there is no money coming. It's just he has to start paying it back at some point. I go, dude, I'm going to be retired by then, And it was pretty good sum, but it was funny because we were all like, I told my other guys like, yeah, we don't want to spend this money all at once, right?
Yeah.
So it was pretty funny. Yeah, there's no money yet, but he just got his job and he'll start paying it back. I go, what do I get, $1 a week for the rest of my life? That doesn't make sense to me at all. Yeah. She goes, no, they have to pay the court and the court will collect it. And then, they'll eventually give it to you. I go, that could take years. It could take years. She goes, yeah, well, we just need to make sure you're the right person. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So, but it happens. Anyway, sorry, got off topic. So, what other events, any other events earlier in the summer here? I think that covers the next couple months.
There is Memorial Day weekend. There's I think it's up in Fresno. There's been for the longest time there was an event. It was a Castle Air Force Base for decades. It was a Castle Air Force Base. Our friend Eddie does the shirts for it. Giant scale. It's all giant scale aircraft. Wow. And it was a castle for years that sadly went away. Then they went to Reedley, up in kind of Bakersfield area, Fresno area. And then they got it that didn't happen last year for some reason, but I think they got it back going this year. So Memorial Day weekend, I don't have the details of it, but I know that it is happening up there. And if you do giant scale Memorial Day RC, it'll probably pop up. And just didn't look that one up, but my friend Eddie's gone to that show, that event more times than I can count. I actually have, usually he'll have like a couple shirts left over, and I have the Castle fly-in, shirt for I don't know, like 10, 15 years worth probably.
That's cool.
My collection that I wear once in a while. I was like, where'd you get that shirt? Like, I know a guy.
Yeah, that's it. It's good to know, guy. I got to go like that too.
Yeah.
I get all these shirts. The events I didn't get to go to, but I got the shirt.
Also, I know June 7th and 8th is the West Coast Scale Masters qualifier at Hemet Model Masters.
Oh, good.
So kind of like we used to have for
Mhm.
Gunsmoke just kind of a standalone now. But Curtis runs that event, and it's in the memorial for Mel Centemire. He's been a long time modeler,
Mhm.
competed in Scale Masters, great guy, knew him really well, passed away last year, but kind of in his memory, and saluting him because he was such a huge part of that club
Right,
and
right.
and Scale Masters. So I'd love to skip away and get over there. That's my friend Eddie's club and our friend Carl's club.
right.
So we'll see what happens. But
Okay.
I really want to go for the Orange County one. That one's a lot of fun.
Yeah, we'll see if we
bunch
can
of
get out
times.
there.
Yeah,
But
it'd be really cool. Hang out with our good friend Harry.
yeah, I know. I haven't talked to him in a while. I got to give him a buzz,
Yeah.
see how he's doing. He's been spending time with his daughters and grandkids, I think. So
Yeah.
doing all that.
He's been spending time at the field too. There was some video of him.
Some video of him.
Yeah. There's another one. There was just a big event at the Pomona Valley Modelers. They had a big Warbird event, but I think they've got an electric event coming up. It used to be called Big Jolt. It's called
Oh
Big
yeah,
Jolt.
you went to Big Jolt last year.
I went to Big Jolt like 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Jeez, it's been 2 years already.
I think so, 2 or 3 years. It's been a while.
Jeez.
Me and Matt, Big Jolt to EDF. Oh yeah, June 2nd and it's June 2nd and 3rd. Well, I don't see it going on here. We talked about it, yeah, because I was there. I just saw Park Flyer podcast, Big Jolt. We've talked about it.
Yeah.
Last time I went there, so. But I don't see where it's coming up again. I know I saw there was coming up, but I'll have to do some research on that. I feel
no worries.
Unprepared. I'll have to look
Yeah,
up,
I know.
That's always a good event. PVMAC is real close to Chino, so it's always cool. You go fly in at least 1 or 2 days, and then on the way home hit the Chino Air Museum. Or Yanks, that's also there.
Yeah,
They're
that's
two
cool.
great museums.
Yeah. Speaking of real aircraft, it's sad that in case you haven't heard already, that we lost Rob Holland this weekend. So
that was horrible. I mean, I don't lose anybody, but just such an amazing pilot, and I've seen him fly dozens of times at air shows and things, and so. I
always tell this funny story that I was at U.S. Nationals, and we were sitting in the big hangar, and we were waiting for the guys to start the meeting because we have a big pilots meeting before the contest. And so I was sitting there and I was looking at some stuff, and I've got my phone, and I pulled up this video, right? And so I'm watching this video, and it happened to be Rob. So I'm watching this Rob Holland video on my phone. I'm sitting there by myself, just kind of towards the back. Yeah. And I was just engrossed in this, watching this aerobatic flight, and this dude sits down beside me, and then I saw him sit there, but I didn't really look up at all. And then but little ways into the video, I kind of just glanced over because I was going to say, "Hey, how's it going?" Because I'm thinking, man, I'm sitting on a whole row by myself. This dude just sat down beside me, And so I look over at him, and I went, "Oh, hey, Rob," and he goes, "Hey, Mike, how are you?" And I said, "Is it weird that I'm sitting at the U.S. Nationals watching a Rob Holland video on my phone sitting next to Rob Holland?" And he goes, "Turn that crap off." It was pretty funny. It was awesome. So he was a great guy. Like I said, I got to meet him, and I knew a lot of the guys that he knew, and kind of ran in the same circles. But he was tragic. Yeah. So. Yeah. And we're still not really sure what happened. He, the last I heard, because I've got people that I'm kind of texting with, and the whole process, and they're basically, last we heard, he was coming in from Tennessee, and was on final approach, and slipped his airplane down to a landing, and they're saying that either the wing came off or the rudder came off, something departed the airplane. And caused it to, kind of spin in. So, so super tragic. And for a guy that's used to living his life, a couple feet off the ground and, 180 miles an hour. So it's just crazy that, when things like that happen. But we, our hearts are out to all those in the aerobatic community in the full scale world. I know a lot of the full scale guys who were, Blue RC at the same time. And we've had Jim Burke on the show, and, him and Rob were real close as well. So, they were all on the U.S. national team, and I know a lot of those guys as well. So it's a sad day, and 12-time national champion. So our hearts go out to him and his family, and it was a loss that kind of caught everybody in aviation, whether you're a modeler or full scale. So
yeah.
But yeah,
because those guys, like I mean, you're so safety's first, no matter what.
It is,
and just if they just can't control what happens.
Yep, I always say when it's your turn. You're not going to get out of it. So, but
did you ever see that movie? What was it called? The Frighteners with Michael J. Fox. It was this a ghost, and like if they see like your number appear on your forehead, that means your number's up. It's your turn.
Oh,
so.
Hey, you're coming with me.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it was one of Peter Jackson, the guy who did all the Lord of the Rings movies.
Yeah.
So,
gotcha. I'll have to look it up. So,
yep.
Well, unfortunately, we're out of time, but thank you very much for joining us once again this week. And if you haven't liked and subscribed, give us a thumbs up. Share a comment with us. We always love to hear from our listeners. Hopefully, we'll see you at one of these events. If you've gone to the event and you don't see us, then please drop us a line. Let us know how it went. You can jump on our Facebook page there at the Park Flyer Podcast Listeners Group. We have a YouTube channel, and or you can just send us an email at parkflyerpodcast@gmail.com.
If you got an event you want to talk about, let us know too.
Yeah, let us know.
We're always looking for a guest here and there.
Yeah,
so,
we sure are.
By all means,
join us. Give us a holler. We've had a lot of guests in the back. Actually, believe it or not, I'm gonna probably not this episode, but the very next episode. Scott bought me some things that are RC related, and he wanted us to kind of take a look at them and see if we liked them. And they're basically straps. They're strap covers for when you put your airplane down. They're like these foam strap covers. So we'll get some more information from him, and maybe we can reach out and talk to the guy that makes those. And they worked out great. He brought some to me, and I was like, hey, these are kind of cool. Because I just use rags on my airplane, but they have the strap that actually you can stick the strap through and it won't move around. That's even better.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But we'll reach out to him. But for now, I am Michael from Arizona,
and Shannon G in Mesa AZ,
and we will see you in 2 weeks. Let's fly.
You have been listening to the Park Flyer Podcast. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to your next visit. Please give our show a star rating and review, and feel free to email us your questions, topics, or suggestions to parkflyerpodcast@gmail.com.